I got some new things. Well, some new old things. First new old thing, this PACO SA-40 amplifier. This is an integrated amplifier from the early 60s. It's all tubes. Alright, let's check out our front panel. There's the power switch. Here's our treble, our bass. So one thing I read about this is that it has active tone controls, and they are separable by channel. Got our loudness, which is actually the volume. Balance. Okay, up here we can have two different systems of speakers. So we can have two different sets of speakers, and we can listen to one of the sets of speakers or both. Over here we have contour, which is the same as what we now call loudness. Our rumble filter, off or on. We have many different options for mono, stereo, etc. And look at all these inputs that we have. We have aux 1, aux 2, tuner, phono 1, phono 2, tape head, and mic. An amazing number of inputs. And up here we can even switch between the RIAA equalization, and I believe that's the European standard, at least from back in the day. And again, the company is PACO, and its model is SA-40. So that means it supposedly has 20 watts per channel, although that's not a 20 watts that we would recognize as 20 watts nowadays. That's before the power levels were standardized. So of course I have not figured out everything about this amplifier. Here we've got connections for the left speaker and the right speaker. The previous owner had these. The previous owner put these on spade connectors to whatchamacallit plug thingies. Boy. It has switches for different speakers on the front. Back here we do see 1 and 2, and I'm assuming then that's ground for 1 or 2. Then we've got 4, 8, 16, and 32 ohm speaker connections. So I suppose what that means is that if we have more than one set of speakers, we would have to hook them both, say, to the 8 ohm here. But then we would hook them up to different ground posts here or here, 1 or 2, depending on one set, system 1 or system 2 speakers. We've got tape outs, right and left. And this is curious. I don't know what's up. Maybe I'll see a right preamp out after I take the cover off, but we've got a left preamp out, but I don't see a right preamp out. And then our inputs are all back under here. You can see those are going to be a bit of a trick to get to. Might even need to take off the cover to really get at them adequately. Where we would hook up the ground for our turntable. This ground, that's a little arrow pointing to this screw right here. All right. Okay, the output stage. So originally these would have been 7189s. Which are essentially high voltage EL84s. And now we've got 6P14Ps in there, which are also essentially high voltage EL84s. If you look online, you can be led to believe that EL84s, 6P14Ps, and 7189s are all interchangeable. But apparently the B plus on these is at something like 400 volts. That's quite a bit more than an EL84 is rated for. That is, we would not want to put that kind of voltage onto an EL84. See our output transformers there. Nice and relatively beefy looking. And that's about all we can see. We can see the can caps back in there. I'll be wanting to replace those. Well, I listened to this at the previous owner's apartment, and it sounded really nice. So it should sound nice for me as well. Let's give it a listen. I also got some new records and CDs. But the record that I went to the store in order to get was this. Been trying to find one for a while. So I want to listen to it. I want to listen to it with my new old amplifier. But for context, I want to listen to it with my old new amplifier, the BV6V6. Of course, it's connected to a solid state preamp. I'll be playing through the Genesis 1 speakers here. And now we're going to try the PACO SA-40. I've got the loudness on, since I had the loudness on before. So I'm going to get in to shake it up. And I'm going to switch to the DCM speakers and I'm going to turn up the volume a bit. Switch off.
Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Dance all night. Get up. Setting bits all night. Go, go, go. Bits all night. Get real low. Go all night. Get real low.
So I'm giving this new tube amp, new old tube amp, the once over, and just took off the faceplate and discovered it's not plated. I'm pretty sure this is just a solid piece of brass. I mean, brass sheet. So I've already cleaned it with the Mrs. Myers, and I'm gonna try some of the mother's polish on the back side, see how that does. And then if that looks particularly fine, then we might move to the front side and see about getting rid of some of those tarnish spots. Well, look at that. Yeah, it's not really kicking that varnish. It's not really kicking that tarnished bit's ass, but worth a shot at it. I think I'll go after it on this backside a little bit, see if I can get rid of it. Well, this is very promising. I think this is gonna work and shine up that front. So the back's one thing, the front's another. It's got some kind of coating, and the tarnished bits are, you know, like when rust gets under paint, that's what that tarnish is. Those are like just where little bits of whatever coating is on this faceplate have flaked off, and the tarnish has gone in under the coating around the bits of flaked off stuff. Paint, clear coat, something. And so without stripping that, I can't get at the tarnish. So, yeah, that's kind of too bad. Cleaning up pretty nicely. I mean, you know, it's not shiny or anything, but not expecting it to get that way. Don't want to take the lettering off either, so. But, you know, with the Mrs. Myers and the toothbrush and paper towels, gotten a lot of the grime off. So that's cool. Yeah. The output transformers aren't as big as I thought they might be. They are definitely nowhere near the size of the Z565s that I've got on my Beaver Valley, and that are the standard stock transformers for the SCA35 and the Stereo 35. But, you know, they're not tiny either. So we'll see what they can do. And whether it's, I mean, who knows, maybe it's worth upgrading them, I don't know. You know, but we'll see what this amp can do. I will want to replace a lot of the components, maybe just about all of them, because this thing is old. And Lord only knows where they've drifted to by now. And, you know, just to be able to get the best out of this and make it also be able to last for the long haul. I mean, it's already been on a pretty long haul, but, you know, the next long haul.
Make a night, get started and stand. Dance all night, go to work. But do the move with the quirky jerk. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up. Shake it up.